What is up, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Don't Shoot Disc Golf podcast. I am your host, Harry Messenger, coming to you live from my studio here in South Manchester. And as my tie fades away, I want to give a massive shout out once again to our show sponsors. Huge shout out to London Disc Golf Community for sponsoring the YouTube stream, and a huge shout out to Disc Golf UK for making the podcast happen. London Disc Golf Community want to let everybody know that they have just restocked a load of Trilogy discs. On Thursday, that's today, at 2 p.m, the brand new Latitude 64 Eco Pure and Royal Grand Rive first run have gone live. Tons of misprint discs with reduced prices, and of course use Don't Shoot 21 for £5 off and free shipping. And of course, don't forget to register for their tournament. There's a tournament, their first of their series, and registration closes in 1 hour, so go do that now if you want to go play. And so, welcome back to the show. Hello to Shane, Amanda, Carol, and Mark, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I'm excited to welcome this week's guest, Mr. Dennis Jones, from the In the Chains podcast. Hello, Dennis.
What's up, Harry? How are you?
I'm doing as well as can be expected. How are you?
All right. How's life treating you? You've had a good week?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's been an okay week. I've not been feeling great today. I've been a little bit sickly today, but I'm here for the podcast. I'm ready to go. How about you?
Well, that's true dedication. So good on you. Yeah, I'm good. It's Thursday. Week's almost over. I got some big plans for the weekend and for the next couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing.
So yeah, everything's going well.
What are the weekend plans?
Tournament on Saturday, and then I'm driving up to another area of England for training for 2 weeks. So I'll be away from my home for 2 weeks, and I don't have to go to work for 2 weeks. So pretty excited about that.
Nice.
I'm going to become a certified drone pilot.
Wow, that's fun training. That's not bad training at all.
No, it's not bad at all.
There you go. So yeah, Dennis, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, why don't you give yourself a little quick intro?
Yeah, sounds good. Well, everybody knows me as everyone's favorite Yank. I help run the In the Chains podcast with my friends Duffy and Bowen. It's a podcast, much like yourself, amateur disc golf. However, the difference is we do a lot of banter. We don't really know what we're talking about, so a lot of it is just making fun of each other, having a good time, trying to make everybody who listens laugh. And yeah, we just have a good time. We enjoy disc golf, and we wanted to kind of find a way to talk about disc golf during the lockdowns that we've had. So we started the podcast, and we've been doing pretty well, and we're pretty excited. And now I'm here with you, so things are looking good. There you
go. You've really made it. Now you're on Don't Shoot.
I'm on the OG UK podcast. Like, what could get better than this?
Well, appreciate it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of In the Chains. I'm enjoying what content you're putting out. As I was saying before, I didn't used to listen every week because I'm not actually a huge podcast guy. I really have just one or two go-to podcasts, but in the last sort of month or so, In the Chains has caught my attention, and I'm a day one listener most of the time now. So there you go. You're doing something right.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It's cool to see, and I'm really enjoying all the content growing in the UK and so many more things to watch and listen to. And speaking of watching, you guys in the chat, go check out the In the Chains YouTube channel.
Yeah, we started off with just having some fly-throughs of courses, kind of giving people the lay of the land, let them see, what course they may want to play. I think we have Arrow Valley and Quarry Park were our two first ones. We just took a trip to Wales on Friday where we did Fellingarry. So we did a nice fly-through of Fellingarry, and then we actually had a fun draft pick round that we filmed. So we talked about our disc drafts on the podcast, and then we did a video, and the video was actually a lot of fun. So you can see us play. We play the whole course. We've each chosen 6 different discs, and we play 4 holes with each other's bags to see, how we can play with somebody else's disc. Can they fit into our bags? Do we like them? So it was a lot of fun. And if you think there's a lot of banter on the podcast, you should go check out the YouTube video, because you'll see that how we are on the podcast is exactly how we are in real life when we actually play rounds with each other.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Having seen you guys interacting at tournaments in the last few months or so, I can confirm that you are exactly the same as you are on the show in real life.
Well, yeah, we have to be, right, because I mean, if not, it's false advertising. It's kind of what we pride ourselves on is how we act, and we're nice, friendly guys. You can always come up to us and chat when you see us at a course or at a tournament. We want to talk to everybody and say hi, but understand that if you're part of the group, we're going to take the piss out of you. It's kind of what we do.
I was lucky enough to be standing about 3 or 4 meters behind you as you were discussing doing the winner interviews for the London tournament, and it was like watching sort of a 2-3 minute excerpt from the show. It was just sort of complaining versus ribbing and going both ways. So I was enjoying the little interactions. Well,
good. I'm glad you did. It's one of those things. I remember that tournament. How are you feeling now after the dog incident? Because it was such a big deal. It upset you. It hurt you. I didn't want to mention anything there since you and I were playing for tags, but I did give the dog a treat afterwards because I think that helped me actually win.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, my dog was eaten halfway through a round, but I was even par at the time of the dog eating my disc. I was 3-4 shots up on you, Dennis, in our tags, little mini tags round, and then I proceeded to get 7 over through the next 3 holes. So
yeah.
So the dog, I feel like Dennis had a bribe in there for the dog, but
I did. Like, who brings a dog to a park? Honestly.
Yeah, sure, definitely can't have any dogs on disc golf courses, but but yeah. So how am I feeling about it? Like, I haven't managed to replace the disc, which is unfortunate. I haven't found anyone selling anything that's close to what I had. So it's opened my mind a little bit to throwing a few discs that I have but haven't thrown. I've also got a new disc coming that I want to try that might replace it. So it's expanded my horizons a little bit rather than throwing the same driver on every hole, which is what I've been doing. I've had to look out there. I've not successfully replaced it yet, but I've got some things in the works.
Now, this one that's coming, is it a secret? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure I can. So it's the Latitude 64 Royal Line Grace.
Okay.
So it's the slightly less stable one of the 2 Royal Line drivers that have been released. It's a 11 or 12 speed, depending on where you look. And I've got it coming from a friend of the show, Dean from Amsterdam. So
very cool.
Thank you, Dean, for sorting me out with a driver to try. He's always on at me to try more Latitude stuff, as I'm always on at him to try more MVP stuff. So we're doing a little bit of a deal, and he's hooking me up. So excited to give that a throw.
I really wanted to hear that you were getting a Discraft disc. That's what I wanted to hear, but I guess that we can't persuade you for that yet, can we?
No, I'm not keen on the Discraft, as you know, but yeah, actually I threw. What did I throw? I threw a Proto Hades. A Paul McBeth Proto Hades, and that was actually good. I like that a lot, but I don't like the stock run of the Hades.
Mm-hmm.
So that was.
I have a Proto Hades. It's just right now my friend moved and it got packed with his stuff, and so it's sitting in a storage shed somewhere in America for the next year.
Yeah. That one's going to be more valuable than it was when it went in the storage shed when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an investment. You should have just packed up a big crate of them and kept them for a year.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
But yeah, no, that was quite a nice disc. No, not a Discraft man here. I found out last time I had a Discraft fan on the show. I found out while looking at my discs over my shoulder that I actually had a Discraft disc on the shelf. An update for you all. You'll be pleased to know that's been given away for free to someone now. So I am now Discraft free again. my Discraft free status.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I like to upcycle my discs. I've got a couple here that are going to be going out to a new player in the next few weeks. So,
is that just the code? Okay.
Yeah, this is the normal code. This is an RPM 2E in baseline plastic. Got a couple more. Generally, somehow I end up with a lot of discs that I have no use for. So I prefer to give them to a new player and grow the sport than anything else.
That's how it should go, right? You pass your discs on or your old bags and give it to a player that needs it or wants it.
Definitely, yeah.
That's how we grow the sport. So you'll be pleased to know that I am expanding my horizons.
Oh, okay. I'm
here
for this.
Yeah, I think all of the UK disc golf community is going to be in shock when I say that I am going to start bagging other discs other than Discraft.
Ah, well, the UK has rubbed off on you in a positive way then.
I think so. I'm bagging a Cax or Cax Z. I lost it yesterday at Quarry in the Avon. That was a gift from Max, and I put it into the river, and I felt so bad. So actually, on the drive home, I was on the Ace website, and I ordered myself a new Cax, so that hopefully is here tomorrow. I'm also bagging a dynamic disc, Chris Clemens Signature Series
Verdict. There you go, you got it.
So I'm pretty pleased about that. And I also bought a T-Bird and a Firebird.
Very nice. Yeah, good selection there.
And then I also got a MVP Insanity.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, so I figure I need to kind of fix some slots in my bag because I'm missing a couple shots. So I don't think I can get that with Discraft. Not because Discraft doesn't have the disc, it's just so hard to find them.
Sure, yeah. Manufacturing is a big thing right now.
Yeah, everybody's been slowing down. COVID has, just wrecked the industry, and for the fact that they can't produce enough discs to get it out to everybody. So anytime you have a disc that you love, you have to buy a couple of them, because I lost a Jawbreaker Zone as well yesterday, and that almost impossible to find. On Friday, I got my first ace with the Jawbreaker Zone. Well, thank you. I'm very proud of that. That was at Felon Gary as well. So I got my first ace, but I always told myself with whatever disc I get my first ace with, I'm retiring that disc. So I can't play with that anymore. So now I've also gone and bought a West Side Harp.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Baseline harp, very like a Jawbreaker Zone. You'll like it.
So I'm trying to just expand my horizons, and I think I also have an A2 coming.
There you go. The diversification is happening. I approve.
It's how it's supposed to be, right? So
definitely,
I'm sure the whole world's surprised.
No, I'm excited to hear your opinions on them, and I've got a Cax Z for you when you come up to Manchester as well. So I'll hook you up with one.
Sounds good. I'll be there in 2 weeks. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, excited for that. It's not even 2 weeks. It's much less than 2 weeks. It's 1 week.
Yeah, a week and a half, I guess.
1 week and 1 day, I believe, or one week and 2 days. So yeah, that gives me a good chance to let everyone know that there will be no podcast next week. The live show on next week will not happen, and instead I will be doing the virtual players meeting for the Manchester tournament that I am co-TDing. That'll be at 8 o'clock next week. If you want to watch the players meeting and you're not playing in the tournament, feel free. But there won't be a podcast following it. So, being that that's kind of UK Disc Golf news, I guess it's probably time to do the actual UK Disc Golf news. So here we go. So yeah, like I said, Manchester tournament coming up next week. That's monopolizing my time at the moment, trying to organize a few things, and so yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, and you and the boys are coming up as well.
Yeah, we'll be up there. The boys are coming up Friday during the day, I think, because I'll still be in class until about 5 p.m. I'll be there hopefully by 8 or 9. So unfortunately, I won't get to play a practice round, but we're going to stay the night and then, be in the tournament on Saturday. So really looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, check out the virtual players meeting on the Thursday night, and I will show you around the course.
Okay. I will be there.
Sounds good. And yeah, so I'm very excited to have as many people up to Manchester as we are. It's club members only, which is kind of crazy. We sold out our 90 places, and everyone is a member. So yeah, it just shows how big the Manchester scene has got up here. I go on about this every week, but I'm very excited for that. Of course,
you guys are doing big things. I mean, I know me and the boys, we became members just so we can play. And again, it's all about growing the sport. So I feel that if I can donate some money or sign up to help just expand and make people's clubs better or courses better, that's what it's all about, really. And so I'm all for it.
Well, I appreciate that. And as part of that, you got our number 2 tag. So
Yeah, how did that happen? I feel like I'm on everybody's hit list now.
Yeah, I mean, you were too generous with your donations, and suddenly you're number 2 bag tag, and we funny story actually. One of the club members had to at the last minute out donate you in order that you weren't number 1 tag. So so you indirectly helped us raise even more money.
Well, I feel like I've given you and the Manchester scene a lot of my money in the last couple months. Well worth it. But yeah, what can I say?
There we go. Well, looking forward to playing for the number 2 tag at the weekend. So
yeah, we'll see. I think it's somebody else's turn to try to.
We've well, in the first round of the tournament, we're having compulsory tags in. So
yeah, we saw that and didn't really know what that meant. Of course, everybody else I think is at a advantage over us since the 3 of us haven't played the course. So we're going in blind, so it should be fun.
Yeah, so we're playing the red layout, the shorter layout, in the first round. So you'll have a chance to see the course and play the short layout. What we're going to do is we're going to take everyone's tags at the start. We're going to play the first round. We're going to rank everybody in order of how they shot in the first round, and then after the second round, we're going to give their tags back in the order that we ranked them. So you will end up with a different tag to what you started with, and we'll have some shake-ups.
Well, it was nice to have the number 2 while I did.
There you go. You might shoot the second hottest round of everybody in the tournament.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's not hold our breath for that.
Yeah, Ian McDougall definitely didn't shoot 14 under with a bogey this week in league. Definitely not.
Oh goodness. Jesus. I stand no chance.
Yeah, you'll surprise yourself, I'm sure. We have a very important question from the chat from T Duffy. Why is Dennis wearing a hat indoors?
Because everybody knows me as a hat guy. Only very few people get to see me without a hat on. The hat's my thing.
There we go.
So shout out to Bowen for giving it to me for a Christmas present.
Nice.
The Jomez hat. So
I don't have a Jomez hat. I've got a Udisk hat and I've got a Katsupast hat, but I should expand my disc golf hat collection.
Well, if you're a hat guy, you should. I only wear one hat, so I'll wear this until the threads fall out, and then I'll switch hats.
There you go. I would lose it. I would not. Mine would not last that long. But yeah, more disc golf news in the UK, of course. This weekend is the one-day tournament at Quarry Park. So this is something really nice that Quarry Park are doing. Actually, they're letting the amateur players have their own kind of day of tournament, which is really nice to see because it means that they can compete with their compatriots, and we can get such a large field. I think it's 72 of just MA3, MA4, FA3, FA4, and a few more divisions, some age protected ones. I think. Are you going, Dennis?
I don't know. Saturday I'm going to Croydon. Yeah.
To Croydon on Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, so Quarry Park on Sunday, which is the one we're talking about?
Sorry, I spaced out there. That is my fault. I was looking at the chat. My fault. No, I am not going to Sunday's Quarry Park, but Bowen is. Bowen will be there. Duffy and I are playing the one in June. I apologize. I need to pay attention to you and not my phone. I'm a horrible guest.
You're all good. You're all good.
But no, Sunday I will not be there because Sunday I have to travel. I did want to go up to help and to kind of cheer Bowen on and some of the other guys that I know that are playing. But unfortunately, I can't make it.
Yeah, I was planning on my little brother's playing. It's going to be his first tournament, so I'm excited to see how he does. But I was going to go and spectate, but they've asked for no spectators, so.
Can you not caddy for him?
I potentially could, but I decided that I would stay up here this weekend and have a weekend off disc golf tournaments because I've been away quite a lot recently, so it's good to have a weekend at home.
That's fine. Well, yeah, good luck to your brother. I'm guessing that's Tom Messenger.
That is Tom Messenger.
Well, good luck to Tom and Tom. Actually, good luck to everybody. It's going to be a fun tournament, I think. Quarry Park has such a great layout, especially because we're playing the red tees for the beginners. Yeah. So it's challenging, but it's still you can still score a pretty decent round, especially for the beginners. It's definitely a lot easier than the black course. Yeah, man, it's just such a beautiful area down there.
Yeah, it's really great. It's such a great course. I always preach about how I love the Quarry Park course, and I love the red layout. Like, I'm gonna go to my grave saying that for any player who is not rated 900 or higher yet, the red layout is the best layout at Quarry Park, because it will give you a challenge, but it won't punish you unnecessarily, and it won't make you hate your life. So I am fully on board of, if I go to Quarry Park, I'm probably going to play the reds. Like, I love the reds. It's
really,
it's a great challenge. I really like the modified reds that we called the Black Am course that we played a few years ago, which is the full black course, but you move forward 1 tee on every hole. So if there's a black tee, you play the blue tee, and if there's only a blue tee, you play the red tee.
Do you still play the two that are kind of in the woods down?
Yeah. You play them from the shorter tees, yeah.
Okay.
That's my actual favorite layout, but I love the reds as well.
Yeah, we played the reds yesterday. We're trying to give Bowen a nice practice round, and it was fun. It was good. Like you said, it's challenging, but it's still kind of, it can be easy if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, you could definitely have a good round on it, but it's still got plenty of difficulty to be exciting. Whereas I think the thing I like about it is par doesn't feel bad. It's still, you're still like, okay, I got a par, that's okay. Whereas if you play the Manchester Red course, you get a par, you kind of feel like you missed a shot, even though you obviously didn't, because no one's going to shoot 18 down every round except maybe Ian McDougall. But you kind of feel like if you don't birdie the hole, you kind of messed up. Whereas they don't really get that at Quarry Park, which is why I think I like it.
Yeah, well, I know for me that whenever I go play in a tournament, my goal and my mindset has kind of recently changed. Is I'm trying for par. If I have a birdie luck, I'm going to try to run it, because I know that my miss is usually short because I'm still not a good putter. And if I get par, great. If I happen to get that bogey, I know that possibly I can make that back from a bonus birdie somewhere, or I can just keep playing par, because I feel that I'm a little worse than a par golfer.
Sure. Well, that's a really good mentality, and that will see you well, I'm sure. I don't do that. I try and birdie everything, so no doubt you will beat me in the blue round next week at Manchester. But
I you know what, I highly doubt that. Again, it's your home course. It's like if I said, hey, you're coming to my course where I work. I have a slight advantage because I've played it, 3 days a week since December.
We'd have to see. I got to back myself even on your home course. Despite the last time we played, didn't quite go my way, but we'll have to try it sometime.
We will. You have an open invitation. Just let me know when you make it down here to Oxfordshire.
Nice.
And I'll escort you on. We'll go play.
We'll make it happen. So yeah, also in the UK Disc Golf news this week, of course, the Women's Global event. We did a massive show about it last week. Really great to hear from Zoe Andike and support everybody. They had the 2 events. They both went amazing despite the weather. So congrats to everyone involved in running those once again. And congratulations to the following ladies who won their divisions. So in Scotland, Rachel Turton, TD, and also won FA1 with a total score of +4. So congrats to Rachel. Annie B won FA2. Alexandra won FA3 with a great score of +7. That would have been, I think, good enough for second in FA1, so well done to her. Sharon with +47 wins FA4, and Tandala wins FJ15. So nice to see some juniors playing. 3 different junior girls playing, which is great to see. Down here in England, Sue Underwood took down the FP55 division, shooting +9. Bella Tate from Manchester, one of our Manchester Zone players, recent convert to the sport. She's playing absolutely fantastic. She shot +4 over the 2 rounds and won FA1. Katrina won FA55. Carol won FA60. Zoe won FA40. Megan won FA3, and Terry won FA4. So well done, ladies. Congrats on your great results. Really good to see so many ladies out there playing. And also thanks to the men who do not get a shout out for their divisions for participating and propagating their rating. So congrats to all the ladies. It's amazing to see. We've talked about it on the podcast. We love the fact that more women are getting into the sport.
with us being new ourselves and just trying to grow the sport, it's great to see. Hopefully that we can, all these women that played this past weekend, hopefully they will continue to play and be able to continue to get into tournaments, because then we can really have some stacked fields, and the women can really play against each other, and we can get a true feel and sense of how big it is here in the UK.
Yeah, and it really does. It really has started to feel like a women's disc golf community, which is lovely to see. I'm really a huge fan of seeing that. So
I am as well, especially because we look at it. We as the men, we have our social groups that we hang out with and our friends, but I think they as women need that as well, because they can talk amongst each other about how they're playing and what this works well for them, where I can't suggest something for a female because we throw different. We have a different way of looking at things. So if they have a community amongst themselves, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's infinitely more fun for them to be able to explore and learn together rather than being sort of mansplained everything in every tournament. And it's so great to see all of the continued growth. We've got Dell in the chat saying they've got 13 women playing this weekend. We've got upwards of 20 playing the Manchester tournament. So it's really lovely to see, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, I think it will. Just we need to put more tournaments on. I think that's the key to success here in this country is more tournaments, more women-only events, more women TDs, and that will definitely grow the sport.
Yeah, it's crazy and really inspiring how much it's grown over here in Manchester. Last summer, for the first time ever, I saw a group of women, a women's only card, and I was blown away by oh my god, there's 4 women playing together, and this is the best thing ever. And then now that's just a regular occurrence. I just go to the course and there's some ladies playing, and that's normal. So to have gone from one to the other in such a short time really makes me happy.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So final bit of the news this week. Of course, it was ratings update week. And it was kind of a big week for ratings updates in the UK, because we've got quite a lot of high-rated players right now. We want to give a massive congratulations and shout-out to Joe O'Brien. Joe's new rating is 1,011.
Is he the first or second British person to make it over 1,000?
At least 2 or 3 have made it over 1,000, but okay. Joe is definitely the highest ever rated UK player at 1,011. Okay. He is 171st highest rated player in the world, so well done on that accomplishment. And looking forward to seeing him keep growing, and if he can maintain that level, it would be crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Connor as well. Connor's been crushing this year, low-key and then less low-key, as he keeps playing and keeps winning. Connor's up to 991, so he's closing in on that 1,000 as well, which is pretty ridiculous. These ultimate players coming in and smashing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's young, he's fit, and he throws a mile. I've had the pleasure of playing with him for a few tournaments, and it's nuts. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if it's just because I'm old and fat, but I want to be like Connor. I want to throw it as far as he does.
Yeah, I feel you there. I want to as well. I haven't yet to play with Connor, so I'm looking forward to getting to. And then, of course, continuing the Ultimate Player entry, Hamish Rankin, he played his first disc golf event at Windmill. Somehow I missed this. There was a Windmill Leisure one day, and Hamish... I spoke to someone who was there, and he said it was the windiest he's ever played in, and he's played in Oklahoma. It was the windiest conditions he's ever played in, and he was finding it incredibly difficult. And Hamish showed up, played like the wind wasn't even there, and averaged 989 for his first ever tournament.
Wow.
So with Hamish and Ben Davies and Connor, all these players coming into the UK scene and absolutely dominating, it's cool to see the ultimate transition continue. And
it is, but it just means that everybody else needs to step up their game.
Yeah,
we have got a lot of people in the community that have been pros and playing for a long time, and I think some of them may have gotten a little, lackadaisical. Just it's time. If you want to compete, especially in this country, you got to step up your game. You got to put in the work. I think some people are, some people aren't. but it's time. If you want to be the best in the country, it's time to step up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to earn it this year.
Yeah,
and speaking
absolutely.
of people who are going to be trying to earn it, we've got, of course, 3 more players who are over 980 rating. Noah Smithson, Dan Ryan, and James Luton, all of whose rating is getting up there. I can't wait to see Noah start competing this season because he's not played his first tournament yet. So once his exams are done, I'm looking forward to seeing that number creep up a bit. And I believe it's at the end of this month. So
Noah's the man.
Yeah, have you played with Noah?
I have not actually played with him. I've seen him so many times at Quarry. I've heard great things from Richard Hatton and a bunch of the DGUK guys. I call him the Phenom just because he's so young, and I think he needs to go to Europe, play against some of the big boys because he's got many years ahead of him, and that rating's just gonna skyrocket.
Yeah, so me and Noah have been friends for a long time now, and we basically started taking the game seriously together in 2018 when we were prepping for a tournament, and yeah, we were pretty even to start with. It didn't take him long to exceed me, and for the last sort of almost 2 years, he's been giving me a 10-shot handicap, and we've been basically keeping level from there. So, wow. So yeah, 10 shots better than me, and he still beats me quite frequently. Yeah, so the rest of the news about the ratings, we have 19 GB-based players who are over 950. And on the women's side, Rachel Turton back up to 915 after her performance at the latest Bluebell tournament that she was TDing. That's enough to be top 20 in Europe, so definitely elite level player for women's disc golf in Europe. Looking forward to seeing Rachel continue to dominate and improve. But Bella, who we mentioned before, just got her first rating at 895, so she's the second highest rated woman in the UK. And I was just thinking about this, and I think that makes her the third highest rated player in the Manchester Disc Golf Club.
Oh wow!
So she's eclipsed my rating. We haven't actually played against each other, I don't think. So I'm looking forward to competing with Bella and seeing if I can compete or not.
That's great. How did your rating do?
My rating. So despite me having 2 pretty awful tournaments to start the year off, I've played much worse than I expect from myself so far. I still went up by 6, so I'm up to 886, which is 4 off my highest. It was mostly because of other bad rounds falling off and re-adding bad rounds to it, but it does give me hope that I'm still not miles away from my goals. My goal for this year was to hit 900 and maintain it for the rest of the year, so
okay,
I'm not too far off. It can definitely still happen. I just need to, I don't know, I've been struggling with a mental game a bit, like things happen to me and it gets to me, whereas it shouldn't. Like, for example, the dog eating my disc, or hitting 3 tiny tree branches and kicking OB in a row, like little things that shouldn't. I can brush it off fine, and then the second one I brush it off slack. I just need to be able to get back to that first mindset over and over. I'm also a bit self-deprecating on the course. Like you'll hear, if you're playing on the same card as me, you'll hear me like, "You're terrible, Harry. You're rubbish. Why are you doing this?" Like cursing myself. Like I need to work on that. So we had Zoe Andike on the show last week, and she went through a really fantastic mental checklist. So I need to learn from Zoe. She's a fantastic speaker, and she has some great ideas. So I'm going to go back before the Manchester tournament and rewatch my own podcast and learn from
yeah.
Zoe Andike.
Well, I do the same thing. I get frustrated, not because I'm playing bad. It's more of I don't play up to the potential that I think I should be playing at, if that makes sense. And then when something bad happens, like an OB shot, okay, it happens. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to everybody. We can shake it off. But when it keeps happening, and when these bad shots happen it's a mistake that I don't normally make, I cannot get out of that funk. I just, once my head is out of it, I cannot get right. At the Bedworth tournament, that's where it happened. I was playing great through 9 holes. I think I was 1 over. Very good. Then I went OB on 10, and then something happened on 11, and I was just really just in my own head. I birdied 12, and I thought, oh great, here I go, I'm good to go. And then everything went downhill. I was missing 6-foot putts, hitting the band.
Sure.
And I just could not get out of the funk. And that was the first round. And so then I just kind of sat down by myself, just relaxed, and realized, you know what, I'm out of winning. So let's just go have fun. So luckily I had a good card, and I was just able to have fun, and I shot a lot better. So then when I went into the Wembley Open, I didn't put an expectation of winning. I arrogantly, when I went to Bedworth, I was like, cool, I'm going to win this tournament. I think I'm the best MA4 player. This should be a breeze. I've shot 3 over on this course. I'm good to go. And that got to me. So when I went to Wembley, I said, you know what? I've never played this course. I don't know how I'm going to shoot. Here's my goal. I'm going to go try to par every hole. And sure enough, with that mentality, I won the Wembley Open. So
yeah, well done.
I think that's the mindset that I personally have to go into. And it's funny, after such a bad round during the tournament at Bedworth, I go and play a fun casual round after, and I shoot a 2 under.
Yeah,
which
that's crazy.
I was like, where was that, 4 hours ago?
Sure, I totally get what you mean. I think I'm guilty of a similar thing. I don't go into a tournament thinking that I'm going to win necessarily, especially since I moved up to MA2. Like, I don't really expect to win, but I do go into every hole expecting me to be perfect. Which on courses a bit like, say, Manchester Red Course, which we have to play in the tournament next week, can be really demoralizing, because for me, perfect on Manchester Red Course is -21. Like, I could birdie all the holes and eagle 3 of them. I've done all of those things. But am I going to do it in one round? No, of course I'm not going to do it in one round. But to me, I'm beating myself up for not birdieing every hole. And that's not a healthy mentality to play a tournament, I don't think. So I need to work on my game in that way.
Yeah, that's not, you want to do that, and you're capable of birdieing every hole and eagling those holes. So yeah, you kind of expect it, but you can't go with that mentality.
Yeah, and
it's not healthy.
I caught myself. We played Reds and Tag Night this week, and I caught myself. I said to myself, any round under -10 is terrible on the Reds. That's what I said to myself, and I said that to Ian, and Ian said, "Well, yeah, for me that's true." And I was like, "Well, yeah, because you're Ian." And then I think I need to realize that I'm not. So I went back through my UDisc, and I've shot better than -10 5 times ever. So if I'm saying that every round apart from 5 that I've ever played is terrible, that's not a great mentality to bring into a round of disc golf, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. You can't look at it like that. You also have to find those little victories. So it's something that I tell Bowen every time, because Bowen is improving drastically, especially over the last month and a half. From when he played at the Lockdown Breakout 1, and he shot his dismal 72 over. He's really worked on improving, but he still he'll throw a shot, and yeah, it may not be perfect or what he wanted, but rather than looking at the good aspects of, hey, that was on my line, but it was on the wrong angle, or hey, that came out flat, I just was on the wrong line. He doesn't look at the positives. He automatically looks to the negatives. And I think after 18 holes of that, that's really going to wear you down. You have to look at those little positives. Yeah, cool, I hit my line. Yeah, but I messed up. Okay, fair enough. Or I didn't choose the right disc, but that disc came out really flat and straight. It just didn't go where I wanted it to go. You have to look at those positives. And if you have that kind of mental attitude, I feel like that really can help you out as you go along. And I think that's not really a disc golf thing. I think that's just the competitive nature and me just being old and having lived some life.
Very wise words. I need to listen to you. I'm very guilty of throwing a shot and it's fine, like it's a good shot, and someone on my card will say good shot, and I'll turn around and say no it wasn't, what are you talking about? Whereas I should just accept the compliment, think, oh yeah, that was quite good because this bit was good, it just was often this way.
Well, that's what I tell Bowen. Bowen nices everybody, right? It's the weirdest thing. If Bowen says good shot, you're hitting a tree. And I always tell him, it's like, dude, like, I know it looks like a nice shot, but it's not what I wanted. Like, I missed something up, and I think I take it out on him a little too much, and I have to realize, like I said, okay, yeah, some parts of that shot were nice. So thanks, Bowen, but I got some improving to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Bowen will be very pleased to hear this. Hole 4 at Manchester on the red course, thumber hole. So there you go.
Really? Oh man, he's been throwing a lot of thumbers.
I hear about them on the show.
When you watch the YouTube video we put out, he throws on camera one of the most beautiful thumbers you'll ever see.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, there's at least one hole he can thumber on our layout. So.
Oh, he'll try to do at least 4 or 5 of them. I promise you.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
And on that one thumber hole, he'll probably try to throw a forehand.
Throw the backhand, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a forehand would be interesting. I want to see it.
It's just what he does.
I definitely want to see that. Cool. Well, I think that's the UK disc golf news. We've taken up most of the show as per, but I've been enjoying our conversation, so it's hope the chat are as well. Hope everyone's enjoying it. And if you're listening to the show after the fact, hi. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. I appreciate you.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
I was expecting a few more questions on the Facebook stream.
Yeah, we haven't had too many questions. If anyone's got any questions for Dennis, hook us up, and we're going to talk a little bit about Dennis right now. So, Dennis, tell us how you first got into disc golf.
Well, I think like most people through YouTube. It was in the fall of 2019. I think I was watching because I was a ball golfer for the longest time. So I love YouTube, and I'd watch stuff from like Rick Shields on how to become a better golfer, and just tips and tricks on regular golf. And I think that led somehow to a Brody Smith video of him just throwing a Frisbee.
Sure.
And then somehow the YouTube wonderful algorithm popped up a disc golf tournament. It was probably a Jomez tournament. I can't remember which one, but I sat and I watched it, and I was like, "This is amazing." I've always known what disc golf was, right? I've seen the baskets in parks. I understood the concept, but I'd never actually seen them be played. And so I watched this entire tournament. You know, it was 8 episodes from Jomez. And I was like, man, that is awesome. And then I couldn't get enough. And so from probably October of 2019 until the end of February of 2020, all I did was watch YouTube videos on disc golf. And I was like, man, I could do this. Like, this looks fun. So I Googled what my closest course was. And of course it was Quarry Park. So 2 weeks before the pandemic and the first lockdown came, I walked up and went to Quarry and met Derek for the first time, bought a couple discs, and I just went out and played, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It was difficult, yet easy, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to throw a disc. Everybody knows how to throw a Frisbee. It's hard to do what you're supposed to do with it. It's hard to get that disc to go how you want to, especially when you're first starting out. And so I was like, cool, it's easy, but it's hard. I have a challenge. I can improve. Then lockdown happened, and unfortunately couldn't go and play anywhere. However, I have a special circumstance that where I work is kind of a closed community. I have a lot of fields, and so I still had to go to work during lockdown. And I had a couple discs, and so I went out into the fields and I played. Me and a couple friends, we'd made an object course, and we would throw to trees or light poles, and we made this course, and we practiced, and we kept playing, and then I started buying more discs and ordering discs from the States, from here, and then over the summer, last summer, when things eased, then I got went to Reading and became part of the Denton Pastures, the Berkshire, their community and their group. And that's where I met the Ace guys, and just started playing in the league there, getting more confident, continually watching YouTube videos. It's really what I do, is I just soak in as much content as possible, working on form and learning how to throw, and really becoming a student of the game, understanding what discs do, what the numbers mean, how the wind affects them. I'm one of those people who, when I find something that I really like, I absorb everything I can from it, And becoming from a ball golfer, I already knew the rules in general, right? Because the rules are pretty much the same. And then just falling in love and playing with the league. Then I went up to Bedworth and met Bowen and Duffy by chance. I was never played that course. I saw two guys and I was like, hey, you guys mind if I join you? And they were like, yeah, come on. And then, the rest is history with those two. I'm sure they're regretting the decision of allowing me to play with them. But then I decided, you know what? Because of how the divisions work, I could be a tournament player. I love competing. I'm very competitive. And so I made the decision to try to play tournaments. Of course, I signed up for the Wembley Open when it was in October. I signed up for the Autumn Open. And then, of course, COVID has pushed all those things back. But I've made a real effort to be a tour player, if you will. Then this Saturday, I'm going to Croydon, and I'm finally playing an MA3, and that's just simply because MA3 has the tour points. I think MA3 is the right spot for me. I have certain goals that I want to obtain this year. Would love an invite to British Champs. That would be amazing. Don't have any expectation of ever winning MA3 this year, but I do want to come in the middle, be happy with that. And then I want to get my rating up. Love to be 875 by the end of the year. If I can be 900, that would be spectacular. But I think 875 for me being in my second year technically of playing is a good goal.
Yeah, definitely.
It could be achievable.
I think so. That sounds like great. And thank you for sharing your story. I really love hearing people's origin stories, so to speak. And it's really cool. And it's nice that as an American, you've come over and discovered disc golf in the UK in a way, which is kind of the opposite way to a lot of people would, because obviously disc golf is a much larger sport in the US.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would go on UDisc and see like how many courses there are there compared to here. And in a lot of the states, there's as many courses in a single city as there were in this entire country. When I first started looking at UDisc, there was 90. I think it was like 90 courses on the whole island. It's grown significantly since then. I think a lot of that's just object courses.
Yeah, most of those aren't baskets and stuff.
But people still want to play, and they're finding a way to play in certain areas. I'm excited about when I do eventually go back to the States to bring my love of disc golf there. However, I also know it's a whole new beast. I think through the podcast that Duffy, Bowen, and we do, I know that I've reached the goal that I wanted to meet, which was kind of to get to know, how do I say this, the important people, but it's not the important people, but like the big players, not necessarily the pros, but the people who have a big impact on the community. I wanted to meet those people, become part of that community, because I did fall in love with the sport right away. And I made it a goal of mine to grow the sport, to do what I can to promote the sport as well, and just to get word out there to everybody of what an amazing sport this is, because it's so inclusive. Having played ball golf for 20 years, it's an elitist sport, especially in this country, more so in the UK than it is in America. Regular ball golf is filled with a bunch of snobby old white guys, right? And I'm a fat, foul-mouthed, tattooed American. The two don't really go together. But when I started playing disc golf, everywhere that I went, if I didn't know the course and I said, hey, can I join you? Can I play around? Not a single person has ever told me no. They were like, yeah, come on, let me show you the course. Hey, try this on this hole, do this. Oh, hey man, I see that you're new. Like, oh, let's tweak your form a little bit. Here's a little help. Where in ball golf, plenty of times, both here and the States, I'll be playing around by myself. I'll see somebody else by themselves. Hey, can I join you? Nah, I'm better than you, and I just want to kind of do my own thing. And it's very off-putting, where disc golf is very inviting and inclusive. And because of that reason, I want to pass that on to people, and I want to just promote it as much as possible. And if that's building courses, I've designed 2 courses now. So through where I work, I'm able to grow the sport that way. The podcast, we're reaching an audience. One of my old bosses. So for those people who don't know, and this is the first time I've actually said it out loud, so this is an exclusive for you, Harry. So I'm in the military. I'm in the U.S. Air Force. That's why I'm always so covert about where I work. I work on a military installation. When I was on one of my early deployments in 2006, I had a great boss by the name of Don Barbier. And he is now since retired from the military, and he helps veterans. And he has this ranch where veteran families can come and relax, get some food, kind of stay on this ranch. There's horses, there's all kinds of things. And because of the podcast, and because he listens to the podcast, he has created a disc golf course on this ranch for veterans and people who are having issues with PTSD and stuff like that to come and play and to relax. And that's directly related to the podcast that me and the boys started.
That's so cool.
To me, that's like the greatest honor. Like, he thanks me, but it's me who should be thanking him, because it's such a great honor that I had that profound inspiration on him. But he has been my inspiration for, almost 18 years now. It's 15, 16 years. So it's just amazing to see how something in my eyes that's small, easy to do, has such a big impact. And that's exactly why I wanted to do the podcast, and I wanted to be with Bowen and Duffy and talk, and then keep playing the sport and do the courses on my base, do the courses on another base. It's just trying to get the word out there. And that's for me what it's all about.
That's fantastic. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing. And as Derek Robbins says in the chat, you're a great ambassador for the sport. So,
thanks, Bill.
I completely agree. And I like to think I share a lot of the same goals. Also trying to grow the sport through the podcast. Also passionate about bringing it to new people, sharing the game. So I can see some parallels there. So obviously I really appreciate what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we at In the Chains have copied you. I always call you the OG podcaster, even though it's not a podcast, it's a live thing. But you're the OG. You're the one who did this first. You're spreading the word. Ampside's doing the same thing, and then we have all the companies. I'm always going to shout out Ace, because they were always the first guys that I've met, and I love all those guys. But DGUK is doing it. Ollie with London Disc Golf Community is doing it. Everybody.
Shout outs to everybody.
It's spreading the word, and I love that. We all may not agree on certain things, and that's okay. But overall, we are here to spread the sport. Dell with Quarry Park, and now Gilly with his course, Alan with Glenn, Phil and Gary. I always want to call it Ben and Jerry. Everybody's building these courses, and that's the goal is all the same. I don't think Gilly is doing it to become rich, right? That's not why he is creating this course. He loves disc golf.
Not a great investment, I don't think, at this point.
It's not. I don't, Derek has in my eyes, the premier disc golf course in the UK with Quarry Park. It's amazing. Obviously, I'm a little biased because it's the first one I went to.
Same.
He's not getting rich off that. Let's be honest. But he loves the sport. He's been doing it for 100 years.
Yeah.
So he wants to now spread that to the next generation and have it keep moving. And he's constantly growing that property, making it better for us. And then, we will then internalize that and then spread that throughout this country and eventually, the rest of the world.
It's such a great community. I just love it so much.
I do. I love all the people that I get to hang out with and play with. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and we have so many different personalities in the sport. Some people are quiet, some people are loud, some people are me, who talks way too much. But it's so much fun, and just to have everybody be a part of something and kind of have the same goal, and the goal is to play disc golf and have fun. It's just amazing to see.
Yeah, I love it so much, and talks too much, but makes great podcast content from it. So, so all good there. So yeah, I got so many more questions for you, but we've only got time for one more thing, and it's going to have to be Desert Island Discs. So
Desert Disc, all right.
We've got to do Desert Island Discs, and you're going to have to come back on the podcast some other time, and we're going to have to talk more because I've got a list of questions written down, and we've done 2 out of 12. So
how about we do 2? I'll keep my answer short. Let's do 2. Ask me one question, and then I'll do Desert Island.
Okay, I'm going to ask you my question first, and then we'll do Desert Island Discs. How about that? So we almost briefly touched on it. I'm going to go with this one because we nearly got there before. You mentioned that you're excited to go home back to the States and check out some of the disc golf courses. What is the course you're most excited to go back and play?
So my kids live in Colorado.
Sure.
So it's the course that Eagle's playing, so I can play around with Eagle McMahon. I would love to play Maple Hill. I think Maple Hill would be fun. And then also the one that the glass. Nope, that's not it. What's the one in Michigan with the 2 big hills? The big downhill, the hole 1, and then the uphill hole 2.
Ooh,
it's the.
Sure.
Oh, is that the disc crash? Is that?
Oh, yeah, Great Lakes Open course.
Yeah.
The toboggan.
Yeah, that's it. I want to play that course. I want to see what it's like to throw down such a huge elevation.
Yeah, that would be cool to see. It's an entirely different way of watching a disc fly, so I'd like to do that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think the courses in the States, just from what we see on YouTube and on TV, is so different. We see them have such when the pros throw and those discs hit the ground, they just skip another 40 feet. Where I don't think the grass here in the UK really allows for that. We don't have many skip shots like they do. And I want to see, does the terrain really have that much effect on when you play?
Yeah, I always think that when Americans post their longest drive on social media, they all get an extra 50 feet of skip on their shots compared to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their grass isn't as grabby as the grass over here.
Yeah, I feel like we're robbed from distance.
Yeah.
Cool. No, really good answer. Yeah, I want to play Maple Hill as well. I want to say hi to people in the YouTube chat, by the way. Of course, Duffy, Matt, and Cam. Shout out to you all. Got people in the YouTube chat this week. I like this. Duffy took your suggestion to ask a question.
Of course he did.
A bit literal, and has asked a few questions. He wants to know if you remember slinging your bag over your shoulder and all the discs coming flying out after missing the double Mando at Bedworth 4 times, for example.
Yeah, I have an anger issue. I'll be the first to admit it. I get frustrated, and as you guys would say, is I throw my toys out of the pram. But Duffy, I've gotten a lot better. Now I just kick my bag and yell obscenities at myself.
Same. We're talking about courses, and I've remembered that I really wanted to talk about the OTB Open, but we just don't have time. We're gonna have to skip the OTB Open to do Desert Island Discs. But
well, I can tell you that my picks for OTB, Eagle, because it's a roller course and he's the greatest roller, I think, and I say Paige is gonna come back from her little hiatus and kick ass. However, from the in the podcast bet, I have to pick Owen Scoggins because we can't compete. So. Those are my picks.
Cool. Well, I'm going Eagle as well. Ricky, obviously going to be up there because he's playing amazing right now. And then also on the FPO side, I'm going Cat Allen this week because I feel like
putting's on point.
Yeah, if her putting's good, but I believe in it. I think that having seen some of the course, I think it's really going to suit her kind of game because it's a huge distance course. But it's a distance course where you have to be accurate. You have to be accurate at the distance. And I feel like that's where Paige Pierce will go OB a lot.
Yeah, well, she got Paige can throw further than anybody, but Kat is one of the best throwers of a disc. It's just her putting that's always let her down.
Yeah.
If she can putt, she can do good. But that's why for the podcast, I picked Owen Scoggins. She can't throw as far, but she is a very consistent putter. So if she can get within 60 feet, she's going to have a look.
Yeah, I think it depends if the wind gets up or not.
True.
If it stays calm, I think Kat's got it. If it doesn't, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Looking forward to it. But yeah, check out the course. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on a ball golf course, but it's disc golf has been designed specifically for this tournament and only for pros to play, which is one of the first times that kind of course has been used on the tour. And it is crazy. I've only seen the front nine so far, but yeah,
is that from the
Jomez practice round, yeah. And some of the holes are just like, they're like, this is the one that is a must birdie, and it's 450 feet with a low ceiling, and you're just like, okay. And apparently they played. I was listening to the Upshot podcast, and they said that there was an AM tournament there last weekend, and par averaged 1,015 rating. So
wow.
It will probably be a little bit lower with the pros, and I'm sure we'll see Calvin shoot at -10 because Calvin shoots at -10 at every single course he goes to. But yeah, that is.
I'm excited for Simon to be back as well. I'm a huge Simon Lazoff fan. His first tournament back from his injury, so he's my German brother from another mother.
Same. I Simon is one of my favorites. Always has been. I sort of originally he was the one I used to root for in everything because he was the only European out there apart from Seppo, and I wanted to root for my European brethren. But yeah, it's big Simon fan. Kind of wish he wasn't going to be on live coverage first round. I think he could have done with one tournament a little bit under the radar, but I'm glad that I get to see.
I hope, I don't know if you've seen it, but him and Paul McBeth will trade lines. So yeah, Paul had to throw the Simon lines. I hope Simon learned from that and learned that he doesn't have to go for the crazy trick shots. If he just plays good, smart golf, he will be up in the top 5 every week.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think he's definitely there. He's talented enough to be there, so we just have to see it happen. So yes, Desert Island Discs, because we are already over time. It was inevitable this week. It was inevitable, but yes. So Desert Island Discs is where I ask my guest every week. You're going to be playing a magical course on a desert island. There's going to be a mix of rough terrain, trees, there's water carries, but don't worry, if you lose a disc, it will come back to you because it's a magic course. But the caveat is you can only bring 3 discs, 1 driver, 1 mid-range, and 1 putter. Dennis, okay. What are you bringing?
All right, so I'm going to start with my putter. Obviously, if you guys were wondering what brand it is, you already know. I throw pretty much exclusively Discraft, however that is changing. So putter-wise, I'm going to pull out my, here we go, Paul McBeth Luna. This is, I think, the 2020 Signature Luna with my USA stamp. I love this thing for putting. It's pretty good for upshots as well, a little overstable. So it can definitely do what you need to do. So yeah, gonna go with my Luna on that. Love the Luna. It's a great putting putter. Good throwing putter as well. So for my mid-range, I'm gonna bring my Prototype Malta.
Okay, there you go.
I think some people may have assumed that I would have taken maybe the Buzz or something a little less stable than the Malta. However, lately I've been flipping this over, which is nuts, in my opinion, to be able to turn a Malta over. But if I put it on the right angle, it can definitely do what I need it to do for a mid-range. And I love the beautiful double stamp.
Yeah, it's pretty though. It's a good one.
And this is a prototype. I have just a regular run Malta as well, but the prototype I think is just a little bit more overstable for me, so nice. I do like it. And so for driver, this was a little bit harder. This is not the driver that I wanted to pick because Duffy lost my favorite driver of all time. You got to watch the video to understand. So I used to have a Paul McBeth titanium ledgestone Vulture. That's now in a river in Wales. That's not coming back to me. So I'm going to have to go with the ESP Vulture.
Sure.
This is a 10-speed for a driver this is about the fastest driver that I can throw decent, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
I can throw like an 11 or 12, like an Onyx and a Zeus. However, this Vulture, if I can only have one disc with me, it's going to be the Vulture. If I throw flat, I can get a little left to right movement before it finishes out. If I put it on a little hyzer, it'll flip to flat. So this is the disc that goes further than any other disc in my bag, but I can also be pretty accurate with this. So I love the Vulture. I love the ESP plastic. It's probably one of the prettiest plastics that Discraft has, and it just feels good in the hand. So small, shallow rim, which I like because for some reason I have small hands. But yeah, gonna go with the Vulture.
I like it. Well, thanks for sharing, and thanks for coming on the podcast. I've really enjoyed speaking to you.
Thanks for having me, bud.
It's been cool to have you on, and hopefully we can do it again because I've got many more things we want to talk about. So
anytime you need me, I will gladly come on.
I appreciate that. Likewise. And yeah, so thanks to everyone in the chat, and thanks to everyone in the YouTube chat as well. We've had some good conversations tonight, and I'm looking forward to continuing it. Reminder: no podcast next week, and
can I do a shout out for my podcast?
You can, yes, go ahead.
So I can't tell you who, but we are 75% sure we're gonna have a really special guest this week. We are on Monday. We are doing an interview, a pro interview. If everything works out, obviously somebody in the States. So if that happens, that would be dropping on Thursday.
Sweet.
And I think you'll like it. Let's just say the person has been on ESPN, has made top 10 highlight reel on ESPN, and is doing big things this year.
Nice. I like it. I've got some guesses. So you'll have to let me know who it's going to be.
I'll let you know when we get off air.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much to everybody. And I hope you have a lovely evening. And I will see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of Don't Shoot. Share the show with a friend and go check out In the Chains. I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.